What's up, guys? Hope you are safe and well. Have you ever wondered what it would feel like to wake up to millions of dollars in your bank account overnight? Especially when you're fed up with your job? What would you do with this money?
I'll tell you what I'd do, man. 2 chicks at the same time, man.
Yeah, boy.
Boy, that sounds wild. Well, stay tuned till the end for more. It's worth it. It's a typical Monday morning, and people are heading to work, many stuck in traffic. We meet the film's main character, Peter Gibbons, who's already in a bad mood because he's running late. His frustration grows as every time he switches lanes, the traffic slows down. To make matters worse, he notices that even a person using a walker is moving faster than he is. When Peter finally arrives at his office, he walks in as if he's carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders. Peter works as a software programmer at a company called Millionaire. As he sits down at his desk, he's already irritated by his coworker Nina, who sits in the cubicle next to him. Just as he's about to start his work, his boss, Bill Lumberg, shows up and scolds him for not attaching a cover sheet to his TPS reports. Throughout the day, Peter keeps getting the same nagging reminder from different people, as he has to report to 8 different bosses. In the next scene, we meet Samir Naginanajar and Michael Bolton. Both are having a tough time as the office printer keeps malfunctioning every time they try to use it. Samir is also frustrated that no one can pronounce his name correctly.
Naga.
And Michael Bolton is annoyed about sharing a name with the famous singer.
Wow, is that your real name?
To take a break from their frustration, Peter, Samir, and Michael head to a nearby cafe called Tchotchkes for a coffee. During their break, Peter shares how frustrated he is with his job. Michael doesn't have many complaints about the job because he is in the software team and knows he could easily rip off the company if he wanted to. Peter spots Joanna, the waitress at Tchotchkes. He has a crush on her, but he's too nervous to ask her out. Also, he's trying to figure out his relationship with his girlfriend, Anne. He tells his friends that he won't be able to join them for poker on Friday because he's going to a hypnotherapist with Anne. Peter also confides in them that he suspects Anne might be cheating on him. Tensions grow while they return to the office. Their coworker Tom Smykowski runs up to them with alarming news. Millionaire is bringing in consultants to help with downsizing and improving efficiency. Tom is terrified, thinking he'll be the first to lose his job. This reminds Peter of something his high school guidance counselor used to ask.
What you would do if you had $1 million?
This sparks an interesting conversation between them. Meanwhile, all the employees at Innotech are nervous about having to interview for their own jobs.
Every decision you make, is this good for the company?
Milton, a longtime employee who tends to mumble to himself, is more concerned about being asked to move his desk again or losing his beloved red swingline stapler. Milton even tells Peter that if they try to take his stapler, he'll burn the building down. Later that evening, Peter returns home and meets his neighbor Lawrence, a construction worker. Lawrence points out a nude girl on TV who looks like Peter's girlfriend, Anne. Peter, still suspicious of Anne, shares his worries with Lawrence, who admits he has the same bad feeling about her. Peter tells Lawrence that he can't go fishing with him this weekend because he's sure his boss, Bill, will call him into work. Lawrence suggests that Peter leave the office early on Friday so Bill doesn't get the chance to talk to him. Peter loves the idea and asks Lawrence the same question.
What would you do if you had $1 million?
Lawrence gives his answer.
I'll tell you what I'd do, man. 2 chicks at the same time, man.
On Friday, Peter tries to sneak out of the office early as Lawrence suggested, but just as he's about to leave, he gets caught by Bill. As Peter feared, Bill asks him to work over the weekend, not just on Saturday, but on Sunday too.
Oh, and I almost forgot. I'm also gonna need you to go ahead and come in on Sunday, too.
Later, Peter goes to a hypnotherapy session with Dr. Swanson, where he talks about his frustrations and the struggles he faces every day.
Every single day of my life has been worse than the day before it.
Dr. Swanson successfully puts Peter into a very relaxed state and hypnotizes him, telling him to stop worrying about his job until he snaps his fingers to bring him back. But before he can snap his fingers, Dr. Swanson suddenly dies of a heart attack, leaving Peter in a permanently relaxed and carefree state. The next day, Peter sleeps soundly all day, completely ignoring phone calls and 17 voicemails from Lumberg. Peter takes an angry call from Anne, who demands an explanation for his strange behavior. Instead of answering, Peter simply hangs up on her. In response, Anne breaks up with him and confirms that she has been cheating on him.
I've been cheating on you!
Peter doesn't seem bothered and just goes back to sleep for the rest of the day. Peter's work troubles might be over, but your journey is just beginning. Smash that like button, share this video with anyone who needs a good laugh, and subscribe so you don't miss out on more epic recaps. On Monday, instead of going to work, Peter goes to Tchotchke's and finally asks Joanna out for lunch. She is hesitant at first, but she agrees, and they have lunch at a nearby restaurant. During their conversation, Peter shares his plan to just stop going to work without officially quitting, simply because he doesn't feel like working anymore. He also mentions that he doesn't like paying bills, so he's going to stop paying those too. Joanna is surprised and curious about what Peter really wants to do with his life, to which he answers,
I want to take you out to dinner. And then I want to go back to my apartment and watch Kung Fu. Do you ever watch Kung Fu?
They also discover that they both love the TV show Kung Fu, and they make plans to watch it together at Peter's apartment. After lunch, Peter heads to the Initech office to grab his address book and bumps into Michael, who advises him to go home since his interview with the consultants is scheduled. But Peter decides to meet with them anyway. In the meeting, he bluntly tells them that he only does about 15 minutes of real work each week. The rest of the time, he just stares at his computer, pretending to work. He also vents about his lack of motivation, the frustration of answering to 8 different bosses, and the pointless process of filing TPS reports. Peter leaves the meeting feeling relieved and unburdened.
Good luck with your layoff. I hope your firings go really well.
Meanwhile, Joanna faces her own work issues at Tchotchke's. Her boss, Stan, criticizes her for only wearing the minimum number of flare pieces, decorative buttons on her uniform meant to show personality. He lectures her about not expressing herself more by wearing extra flair. Joanna, confused and frustrated, promises to try harder. Back at Initech, the layoffs are moving forward. The consultants, known as the Bobs, are meeting with upper management and tell Lumberg which employees will be let go. They also point out that Milton was actually laid off 5 years ago, but due to a payroll error, he continued to receive a paycheck. The Bobs have fixed the glitch, so Milton will no longer be paid, and they expect him to leave on his own without causing any trouble. Milton, however, continues to be mistreated. His beloved red stapler is taken away, and his desk keeps getting moved. Impressed by Peter's honesty about Initech's problems, the Bobs suggest to Lumberg that Peter should be promoted. Lumberg disagrees, but the Bobs start questioning Lumberg about how much time he spends on those TPS reports, leaving him puzzled. Peter spends the next few days relaxing, watching Kung Fu with Joanna, and going fishing with Lawrence. When he eventually returns to work, he completely ignores the office rules. He parks in Lumberg's spot, violates the dress code, guts a fish at his desk, and even removes a cubicle wall to get a better view out the window. In a meeting with the Bobs, Peter is told that he's getting a promotion, with 4 people reporting to him, along with a raise and stock options. The Bobs also mention that they're hiring new graduates for the software team, and that Samir and Michael will soon be laid off. Despite the promotion, Peter doesn't feel happy. That evening, Peter catches up with Michael and asks him how he could actually rip off the company, like he claimed before during their coffee break at Tchotchke's. Michael explains that he could plant a virus in the software systems that would take tiny fractions of a penny from every bank transaction and deposit them into a separate account. The theft would be so gradual that it would take years before anyone even noticed. Well, that sounds like a plan. Michael never did this because he likes his job and doesn't want to risk it. But Peter reveals that he and Samir are going to be laid off soon. Michael becomes even more frustrated when Peter tells him that he's being promoted despite not showing up for work. Angry and desperate, Michael agrees to install the virus with Peter and Samir. When they share the plan with Samir, he hesitates and says he would rather find a new job than get involved in something illegal. Peter convinces him, saying that even if they get caught, they'd only go to a white-collar minimum security prison, where they get conjugal visits and will also get to sleep with women. Samir gets really excited at the idea of conjugal visits and finally agrees to the plan. The next day, they effortlessly upload the virus into the system. After Michael and Samir are laid off, Peter surprises them with a farewell gift, the fax machine. Yes, that's right. Peter gives them the chance to destroy the fax machine that's been driving them crazy. They head to a nearby field and take out all their frustrations, smashing the machine to pieces with their feet and a baseball bat. Have you ever seen a farewell gift like this? Let me know in the comments section. And stay tuned till the end for the ultimate destruction of an office nemesis. And yes, if smashing office equipment feels as good to watch as it does to do, hit that like button. And make sure to subscribe if you never want to miss another epic office meltdown. Peter, Samir, and Michael celebrate with a house party at Peter's place. Joanna asks Peter why he's throwing the party, but he hesitates to explain. That weekend, Tom, who recently got laid off, invites everyone to a massive party at his house to celebrate a 7-figure settlement he's about to receive from a car accident. Peter attends the party with Joanna, and after some prodding, he finally reveals to her about the penny-pinching software scam. Despite his efforts, he can't convince her that what he and the guys are doing isn't stealing. At the party, Peter is horrified to learn that Joanna once slept with Lumberg. On the way home, he confronts her about it and start arguing. She gets out of the car and leaves. In the next scene, we see Stan once again criticizing Joanna for not wearing enough flair to express herself. Joanna finally expresses herself by quitting on the spot. The next morning, Peter checks the balance in the penny-pinching scam account and is stunned to see a whopping $305,326.13. What was supposed to be a gradual buildup over the years has now become an alarming sum overnight. Ever wonder what happens when a scam unravels and secrets come to light? Stick around for the drama, because things are just getting heated. Panicked, Peter, Samir, and Michael realize that the corporate accounting team will definitely notice such a large amount missing in a single day. Michael suspects he made a mistake by putting the decimal point in the wrong place. Meanwhile, at Initech, Milton continues to be mistreated. After being denied a piece of birthday cake for the second time, he's asked to deal with a cockroach problem in Storage Unit 2, a task he insists isn't part of his job. The three friends spend the entire day stressing over their mistake, realizing they're not cut out to be criminals. They fear the consequences of getting caught and possibly going to prison. Before they part ways, Peter learns that the Lumberg Joanna slept with was actually Ron Lumberg, a different software engineer, not Bill Lumberg. Peter breathes a sigh of relief. After Michael and Samir leave, Peter decides to return the money to Initech, along with a note taking responsibility for the whole thing. First, Peter meets Joanna at her new job and apologizes for his behavior. He tells her that he might be going to jail for the scam. He also expresses that he may never find a job he truly enjoys, however, he believes that he could be happy as long as he is with her. Joanna forgives him, and they reconcile. Peter then sneaks into Initech after hours and slips an envelope containing his confession letter and the $300,000 in traveler's checks under Lumberg's office door. Think the drama's over? Think again. The real twist is just around the corner. Stay tuned for a jaw-dropping climax that will leave you speechless. If you're enjoying the ride, hit like, leave a comment, and subscribe for more surprises. The next morning, Milton approaches Lumberg's secretary. He is frustrated about his beloved stapler being taken away and not receiving his paycheck, and also about his desk being moved to the basement. The secretary tells him to wait until Lumberg arrives, but Milton is determined to reclaim his stapler. He sneaks into Lumberg's empty office. Meanwhile, at his apartment, Peter says goodbye to Lawrence, knowing he might be headed to prison soon. When he arrives at work, he's shocked to find the Initech building completely engulfed in flames, burning down all the evidence of their scheme. As the building collapses, Peter notices Milton wandering away from the crowd, mumbling about his stapler. Peter is amused that Milton has actually set the building on fire after all the mistreatment. In the end, Peter joins Lawrence's construction crew, finding satisfaction in honest, outdoor work. While cleaning up the remnants of the Initech fire, Peter stumbles upon the charred remains of Milton's red stapler. Michael and Samir visit Peter, fresh from their new jobs at Intertrode, or as Peter cheekily calls it, Penetrode. They figure the fire destroyed the confession letter and the money, thinking they're in the clear, but regret the loss of all the money. Little do they know, Milton took the money and is now lounging at a beautiful Mexican resort, complaining about the wrong drink being served to him, with large salt grains. The movie ends with Milton mumbling about either switching to a competing resort or filing a formal complaint with the tourism board. Become part of our story. Subscribe now, click the notification bell, and like the video to help our channel grow. Check out the other amazing recap videos here. Thank you for watching. Take care.